This has been a year of precedents and will no doubt go down in history as the year of the mask. Yet our club has come out on the other side strong and relevant as a service organization for our community. That is only possible with committed members and leaders. I want to spend a few minutes recognizing those leaders. First, I want to thank past president and Rotarian of the Year, Roger Sidoti, whose excellent mentorship prepared me for this journey. Soon to be inducted President Kathy Myers has stepped in to do whatever she was asked and has a fervor to diversify and build our membership in the coming year. Matthew Carter has taken on the responsibility of treasurer with enthusiasm and always looks for the positive. David McKean stepped up to become club secretary when Justin Gates' professional responsibilities dealing with the pandemic impact on our schools necessitated his resignation. David's efficiency and consistency have been greatly appreciated. I think we can all agree that the quality and variety of our programs this year have kept us coming back every week during these trying times. Although he will tell us that there were many of you who made this possible, it takes a great leader and a facilitator to make that possible. Dave Myers has done an outstanding job as program chair. Amanda Sen stepped in to take over as membership director when David McKean moved to the secretary position. Amanda has been stifled somewhat by the pandemic restrictions, but now that those have been lifted, you better jump on board or get out of the way because she is moving full steam ahead. We're looking forward to many more social events like the one last week at the Kent State Hotel. Our Glenn Saltzman Award winner, Todd Kamenish, has kept the club connected with 2 online events this year, which at the same time raise funds for our community projects. Kurt Stump spearheaded our major service project, the Imagination Library, through a collaboration with Kent Free Library and Stacy Richardson and Portage United Way with Bill Childers. And we were able to impact more than 1,000 families by providing a book every month to preschool children. Our unsung hero, Roger Kramer, has kept us on the cutting edge of technology, which has been vitally important during these last 16 months to keep our club at the forefront. Finally, past President David Summers has devoted countless hours over the last few years developing a new Ways and Means Committee. His work has shown the board that we need to be proactive with our finances and not wait for the next surprise expense. There are 2 more individuals that are instrumental in the weekly operation of this club. Roberta O'Keefe arranges for our weekly invocation from club volunteers. Her years of dedicated service are greatly appreciated. After many years as serving as the Rotary Minder coordinator, Mike Lewis is passing his duties on to Tom Hatch. Thank you, Mike, for all the hours you've devoted to this. And last but not least, I want to recognize the work of our Rotary Foundation. Carol Crimmy, as chair, has kept her committee actively impacting worthy projects in our community during this pandemic. Steve Belli, secretary, Matt Carroll, treasurer, and members Sharon Sledzik, Paul Organ, Lauren Talion, and Nancy White have overseen this club's investment for service. Thank you. And now we're going to move on to the installation of our new president. Kathy, if you could come forward. Are you ready to take this oath?
Nope.
Step up to the microphone.
Oh, okay. You know, you and Roger Sidoti. I,
Kathy Myers,
Kathy Myers,
do solemnly pledge
that
I will faithfully execute the office of president of the Rotary Club of Kent, Ohio.
Do faithfully promise to execute the office of president of the Rotary Club of Kent, Ohio.
And that I will, to the best of my ability,
And that I will, to the best of my ability,
support the district governor
support the District Governor, Larry Lohman,
and Rotary International,
and Rotary International,
and that I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of this club.
and that I will uphold the Constitution and bylaws of this club.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's my privilege now to pass on this Rotary pin. Our club is 100 years old. This pin is now 60 years old. I'm not sure what happened to the original, but 1941, this one was obtained. I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay, thank you.
I actually have the box here somewhere. I'll give you. And it's now officially yours.
Thank you. All right. Okay, it is, I'd like to have Randy come back up here. Thank you, and it is my pleasure to give you the past president pin. So there you go, sir.
Thank you. Wow, that's great.
I know.
Jewels.
And also to present you with this plaque in honor of your year of service to our club.
Thank you.
So thank you. It is also my honor to be inducting our new officers and directors to the club. So if I could have our new president-elect, David Myers, our program director, Asid Khan, our secretary, David McKean, treasurer, Matthew Carter, membership, come on up here, guys. Membership director, Amanda Sin, our service projects director, Todd Kamenish, club outreach, Kurt Stump, club administration, Roger Kramer, and Ways and Means Committee, Chaz Madonio, if you could all come to the front, please. I will read this to you, and where I pause after the first word "I," you'll say your own name, and then you can repeat. I. Okay. Do solemnly pledge that I will fulfill the duties of my office.
Do solemnly pledge that I will fulfill the duties of my office
In the Rotary Club of Kent, Ohio. To the best of my ability. That I will support President Kathy. And will abide by our club's constitution and bylaws. Thank you very much, and welcome to the club leadership of this year. So I am pleased as punch. Thank you. Well, now I guess it's my turn to have my comments. And first of all, I want to say thank you. I am so honored to be the new president of the Rotary Club of Kent. This is truly, it's been a journey. I'll go into that in a minute, but I would not be here, and this club wouldn't be what it is if it weren't for everybody in this room and all those people who are watching us online, which is really daunting. So hi, everybody in Zoom world. So I hope this club year starts better than my day-to-day. I got up, the first thing I did was spill a full cup of coffee on the carpet, which I just want you to know, it's really hard to get coffee out of carpet. I then dropped my eyeshadow in the sink I know you guys don't have to worry about that, but it's one of those things. And then I had to come home and to retrieve the banner for the upcoming year, which when do we switch that? Right now? Okay, so here we go. I want you to know, here's our upcoming banner for the coming year. So our motto is serve to change lives, serve to change lives. So that, and you'll note we have our club, Larry Lohman, our club member, Larry Lohman's name is up there at the top as our district governor. So we're going to have to get one of, I was told one of my first expenses is going to be to replace this banner because we need to have another name added to our list of governors. So I ran home to retrieve that. And I'm hoping that the old adage that bad things come in threes is true, because if that's the case, I got them all out of the way and I'm good to go. Again, I'd like us to give a round of applause to Randy and to the entire leadership of this club, because this has been an extraordinary year and there have been many people. Roger Kramer's been fabulous. Everybody's been wonderful. So I want to thank you again. I know that Randy did a fabulous job, and I only wish that today wasn't the first time he'd had a chance to stand at this podium as president, because he missed out on a lot of good fellowship, and I really do applaud you. So thank you. I hope to emulate you in this year with your quiet leadership, your strength, and your collaboration. This club has been very resilient over its 100-year history. We started the club just after World War I. We've since survived other wars, tragedies, local and otherwise, and now a global pandemic. We've done this because these members, all of you, are dedicated, you're kind, you're generous, you support this community, and you embody the tenets of Rotary, such as service above self. I first became aware of Rotary when I was a kid in Gainesville, Florida. And my dad he was inducted as a Rotary member for the Gainesville Rotary Club. And I remember it being a huge deal. My father was quite honored. And I remember that it was, that it was just something like Dad's a Rotarian. I also remember that my mom did what many of the Rotary spouses did then, which was to become a member of the Rotary Anns. So the women's group, the wives group, because they were not allowed in the club, my mom helped with social functions and fundraising, but she was never a member of a Rotary club. Later, when Tom and I were married and he was inducted into this club, this is the same club that his grandfather, his father, his uncle were all members of. And I was very proud to be a Rotary spouse. There was never a Rotary Ann group in my time in here. I bet you Jim Myers could correct me though. I'm sure there were Rotary Ann groups for the Kent Rotary Club at some point. In fact, I think you mentioned it in one of your 100. Oh, good. So, and for a number of years, Tom sang with Jim and Dave Hansford, also his uncle and his dad, as in the Rotary Octet. And for you newer members, we actually had a group, a barbershop group, and they sang at various Rotary functions. They were wonderful in spirit, not always in tone. And hey, but they actually did a lot of service above self, because they went to nursing homes at Christmas time. They sang all different groups, or to all different groups. They sang at the district conference at least once. And they really did a fabulous job. And when they would come and practice at our house, which was once every few weeks, because they rotated houses, our sons, John and Dave, would sneak into the hallway with their blankies, and they would listen to the guys practice. And there was, quite frankly, one time, or there was a number of times, Dave's goal in life was to become a doctor and a Rotary singer. So We're waiting for that, Dave. Okay, so the doctor's probably passed, but yeah, so that's what Dave wanted to do. When the discussion, I remember when the discussion was going on across Rotary International about the possibility of allowing women into the club, Tom was of the opinion that that was really unnecessary, and that he didn't think that there was anything that women were going to, they thought that women would dilute the club and possibly make it not as strong as it was. He's since come around and come to his senses. That was then, honey. This is now. You're older and wiser. I digress, but that is true, and Tom truly supports all the women in this club now. But his initial thought was, why? Anyway, later our son John was inducted into this club, and then Dave. John has since moved out of the area. I joined the Rotary Club of Aurora when Coleman had a adult day services in Aurora. And later, a few years ago, actually, I transferred to this club. And I was proud to be an Aurora Rotarian, but I'm even more proud to be a Kent Rotarian because of the history and because of how dynamic and powerful this club really is. I have visited at least a dozen clubs across Ohio in my role at Coleman. I've spoken to many of them about mental illness and addiction and recovery and et cetera. I won't go into that, but I mean, I've been to Lima's club. I've been to Steubenville's club. Yeah. Bill is a former Lima resident, grew up there. But I have not been to a club that has everything that this club has. We have so much strength. We have so much generosity. We have fun. There's a collaboration that this group of people has that's really unique. And until you go to a lot of other clubs, and last week I actually was in Surfside, South Carolina at their club meeting. And when you go to these other clubs, you realize just how lucky we are. There are very few other singing clubs. I've been to, I think, one other singing club. And I don't know if they sing yet, but the Canton Club at least was singing when I visited them. But we are congenial, we're fun, and we're purposeful. And that's something that I hope to build on. Looking ahead, I want to thank President-elect Day for his leadership in bringing this in-person/hybrid meeting into reality, because he months ago said, we need to start planning this. And it hasn't been easy. He has a committee, there's a committee, it's not just his group, but there is a committee of people that are working with Adam Alderson to learn all of that stuff so that we can continue that. And I think if anybody in this club is interested in learning and not being on stage or in the back every week, but some of the weeks, that would be helpful. And I'm sure Dave Myers would be happy to have you join that committee. Our 100th anniversary celebration was originally planned for a year ago, and now it's been moved to this October. And I feel bad for President Randy because that was kind of the diamond of his year, and it got pushed. And so I want you, President Randy, to please continue. I want you to be that person at that meeting, because that's your year. The 100th anniversary year is your year, not mine. Our club is only a few years younger than Rotary International, and that's a very unique thing about this group. Jim Myers has been wonderful this year, bringing us all the years, the moments from over our history. And it's been, as Randy said, it's been, I think, a lot of our favorite points of the various meetings. Anita Harrington this upcoming year is spearheading the Garden for Monarch Butterflies. It was something that she read about in our Rotary magazine that we all get in the mail every month. And so I applaud her, and I look forward to working with her and having more of us work with her on making that garden a reality. I know Amanda Sen, as Randy mentioned, is working on our membership, and she's working to keep us, those of us who are already members, engaged. She's planning events so that we can get together and we can socialize, not just with each other, but we need to bring our spouses and the people who are important to us to those events so that we can get together and we can learn more about each other, because it will strengthen our club. And I'm looking forward to you continuing those and to working with you on those. And I'm pleased that even during the pandemic, we've welcomed some new members. And that's a really hard thing. And it shows a real compassion and a real dedication on the part of the new members who were coming and, looking at all of our faces in little boxes on the screen. And yet all of them have been very dedicated, and I look forward to growing their membership. And Ben Wolford, we forgot Ben Wolford because he's in Brazil. Hi, Ben. Anyway, and we look forward to him continuing his membership and being active via the Portager. And so those are some of the things that I know are coming up. As Randy mentioned, one of my passions and one of my hopes for this year is to grow our membership even more. I'm pleased more than I can say as how full this room is. And I don't know if we can tell how many people are actually participating online. That will be something I'll ask about later. But I look forward to working with this format, growing our club. One of the things I want to do is grow the diversity of our club. Diversity is one of those words that's bantered about all the time now, but just look around this club. We need to diversify in age because we need we need more younger members. Older members are good too, but I'd like to make sure, I'd like to increase, am I digging a hole? Yeah, Rebecca said yes, but I'd like us to look to expand our membership to more younger members, because they bring an energy and an enthusiasm that I think we can all use, and it's effective when we've got that. We need to diversify by gender, because again, if you look around this room, the women in this room are in the definite minority. And I look forward to expanding the roster of women who we have as members. And also, I look forward to diversifying this club, or I hope that we can diversify this club in terms of race, because we need more people of color. And by doing that, this club will truly represent the community that we're serving. We need to have that in order to be able to be responsive to our community and to meet the needs, the service needs of the community that we're serving. And finally, I want to express a deep gratitude to the women in this club, such as Sue Hetrick and Anita Harrington and Carol, all of you, but some of you started and you were the very first. And you were the ones who led the way from being Rotary Anns to Rotarians. And for that, I plan on standing on your shoulders, and I plan on working hard to make sure that all of us have a good year. I want to work with the many very fine men in this club also. And together we will have a club with great leadership and a lot of collaboration. So thank you very much, and let's have a great year. Thank you. What have I forgotten? Okay.
I know we didn't formally plan on having a responder to this, but of course I missed someone in my thank yous, and that would be David Dix, who has always provided the music, throughout the whole pandemic. The other thing is, I'm realizing as I'm sitting back there that most of you probably don't realize what's going on. We're actually going out live on YouTube right now. And Adam, can you put the YouTube screen up there so we can see who actually is watching at this point? Is that possible? Okay, all right. Yeah, so that's So that's everyone who's watching us. Roger Kramer is, of course, recording this for us, as always. And you see Ben's up there in Brazil. So that's what's going on. And this way it affords us that we can continue to have those remote speakers from who knows where, and they'll just come in on YouTube and we'll watch them just like you did at home in your little cubicle. We'll be seeing that live in this room. So I think it's a technology that we picked up on this year that was valuable, that we didn't want to lose. So just so you understand what's going on here. Thanks.